Legend to the War here, and today we've got a Raiding Your Doomstack video covering a Norska chariot spam army, but he's got Surtha Ek, and he's gotten Surtha Ek to defeat Cetra, so he's got that unique trait that gives all of his chariots a huge boost. Now, I really feel like if you're going to get that trait, you should be putting in the Chaos chariots rather than the Marauder Icewolf chariots. These guys here act more as like an early game skirmish chariot, whereas the other ones are a bit heavier. But even still, I still don't think that the Norskan chariots are particularly good in the late game. Now, most of the enemies that we're going up against here are mostly just garbage, but they do have a lot of experience. Now, if you're wondering why there's just no background noise, it's because there's some really annoying background noise there. If I click and show you, this would quickly become quite annoying. So I just sort of mute it while I get through this intro, because when we get into the battle, that won't be there. He's also got some heroes in here. A lot of this doesn't seem like there's a lot of thought put behind this exact team. Like, we've got 2 frostworms in there, and I'm just like, how does that boost the army at all? Or did you just not have enough time to finish recruiting the chariot spam? Same thing with the War Mammoth War Shrine. I just don't understand its purpose in the army. What's its role, apart from just, oh, look, it's a cool unit. And same thing with the Skinwolf Werekins in there. What's their purpose? I'm assuming they have the Infernal Dominance in there, so it's boosting the melee attack, I'm assuming. But basically, when I look at this army here, I don't see a Doomstack. This looks just like an army that has a theme to it, but I don't see it working that well as a team. But anyway, let's just jump into the battle here, and we'll see how it performs. Because, like, with any Doomstack, I usually compare them to that faction's regular Doomstack, and for Norska, they have a very, very simple Doomstack. It's basically just the Lord, a Fire Wizard, and the rest War Mammoths. You can put War Shrines in there as well, but you don't have to. And the thing about that is, it's so much stronger than pretty much anything else that you can build, with an exception of, like, all hero spams, that even getting a thematic army as Norska doesn't really make any sense. And also, the upkeep cost doesn't really matter with Norska, because it's more focused around reducing upkeep costs anyway, rather than individual units being a little bit cheaper to account for their terrible economy. But anyway, let's just jump in here. So, first thing I want to do is actually test how strong these Marauder Icewolf chariots actually are, due to Surtha X boost. So, the done thing to do in this sort of battle here would obviously be to go and use the Fire Wizard primarily. This guy here can easily get 1,000 kills in this battle. Got plenty of magic reserves, mostly just melee infantry. They wouldn't be able to catch us. We would absolutely slaughter them. But we're here to test these guys out, because you could do that with the Mammoth, or we could do that just with the Lord and the Wizard. You don't need all these other guys, and we're here specifically to test them out. Excuse me. So that's what we're going to do first. I'm going to keep these guys out of it. I just want to see how much damage they dish out. These guys are also skirmish chariots, so I mean, it's just basic troops here. There's some anti-large in there, but it's still mostly just basic. I just want to charge in there, and then charge out, and just get an assessment for how much damage we actually do to them. Because one thing with these Doomstacks is it's not always... these aren't disaster battles, right? We don't want to go in there and just focus on just the Wizard. Otherwise, what's the point of this army type at all? Pull it out of this. And then, I mean, he did go up against like an all-infantry army as well, which is pretty easy to deal with for the most part. I could so easily put a Flamestorm up in there. And units do get stuck in Total Warhammer 2. That's just the nature of them. Like, yeah, that dude there is just stuck. Now, if you want a game where chariots do really well, play Troy. Chariots are brokenly overpowered, which I showed ages ago and CA have not fixed really at all. So, this definitely doesn't have that exact same feel as the Troy chariots. I'm sure we're supposed to use the wizard as well. I mean, that's why you put it in there. Just not only use the wizard, you know. I don't really see the point of having these guys in here. It just doesn't work well as a team because the mammoth can't keep up with the chariots, right? So once the mammoth is in combat, it's just going to stay there. And mammoths work well together in a whole bunch of teams. Like, just in a whole group together. So having the lone mammoth, I just don't get it. I guess you could put these two in there together. But, you know, against basic units, it's doing well. But, you know, I'm not going to be like, wow, look at this Doomstack, it can beat a shit army. It's not going to get a lot of praise from that. So, how'd that fire spell go? Yeah, it did alright. So, primarily want to save the frost worms for the actual more difficult units in the army. Because there's going to be necrosphinxes and stuff like that later on. This is still just mostly... This is garbage here. So this is the stuff that they would be good at. But I reckon if you took this army over to the High Elves, it would get fucking destroyed.
No time wasted. Conjuring, killing, fight. Chaos marauders. Move it.
So just going to keep them out of it. Just because they... If you're gonna work with like a Doomstack, you kind of need to keep units of about the same speed together. Because the mammoths will never keep up with the chariots. So I just keep them in separate orders, I guess. Depends on what you want to actually do with them. Yeah, you know, they're doing okay at taking out basic units. You know, if that's what you want to build your army around, you know, you go for it. If you're just interested, I guess, in numbers of kills, not exactly the value of kills. Oh, look, this unit got 1,000 kills of skeletons. Good job. Any wizard could basically do that. So, a bit of damage, but for the most part, they're doing well. If we pick out isolated units, just keep them together like this, they annihilate them pretty quickly. But I think if we just send them straight into a big blob of infantry, that could actually be a big mistake. Whoops. There we go. And just keep casting every now and again. We've also got a couple of abilities on here which could be useful, but use them later. Alright, they're being stupid with this. We would have no trouble killing them. This would be a good place for some fire magic. Let's go. Let's go do that. What's that guy doing? Oh my god, look, this is going to be amazing. Definitely an opportunity for an overcasted spell. Come on, hurry up, get over there. Come on, hurry up. There we go. Cool, took them out with ease. And taking a bit of damage over here. Just a bit. Honestly, I'm not really feeling it for this. I know that if we had mammoths, this would just be hilariously outplayed by us. And it would perform better than this. Like, a lot better than this. You know, it's always been a bit of a meme, Surtha Ek, with this trait. And he's got it. He's actually gotten a very difficult trait to get. And I'm just like, eh. You know, doesn't boost mammoths, so... You know, and chariots in Total War Warhammer 2 are not the highest tier units in the game by a long shot, so boosting chariots is usually not that big of a deal. Get out of there? Yeah. Let's bring them over here so they can come and help. Come over here.
Command accepted.
He's got a lot of abilities on this.
Race for war. Orders taken.
Don't really need to use the Frostworm's Ice Breath attack right now. Just not really worth it. Could end up getting a lot of friendly fire.
Yes. Quick, quick. Conjuring, killing, maneuvering.
What's going on here? Okay. Looks like some. Oh right, I see. It's the war mammoth that's doing that.
Chaos Marauders.
Yeah, it's just like shitloads of bones. Just loads of them. Good, he's got the regen.
What to
So-
do? Agree.
Like, it's a strong army, don't get me wrong, it's strong. Like, went up against, like, the biggest joke you could find, but it is strong. I think this would really struggle against, yeah, High Elves, or even Bretonia would probably give this a really hard time, just because of all the cavalry. Cavalry's very, like, if they can actually get into combat with them. These are anti-infantry, and infantry is not something that's usually a big problem in the first place. So building your army around anti-infantry, you usually don't need to do that. Just having one spellcaster is enough to handle most of the enemy infantry. And then you should, usually if you really want your army to be good, they need to be anti-large. And this doesn't have a whole lot of anti-large in it, because like I said, one wizard, pretty much no matter what type of wizard that they've got, magic destroys infantry with ease. So having a whole bunch of extra anti-infantry units, which, by the way, mammoths are also anti-infantry, but they're also anti-everything. So it doesn't matter if something is like a cavalry unit or a bunch of trolls or even other single entity monsters that are anti-large. Mammoths are that good in combat that they still perform well against them.
Orders taken. Incantation ready. I've seen.
Not sure what's going to happen with that, so we'll just cast there and just see how it goes. Get back.
Chaos Marauders.
Alright, whole bunch of archers coming in over there. Let's go around here and get at them, because they'll be easy pickings. So these guys have a bit of a rest. And while we're not focusing on using the magic primarily, of course we should use it. And it's done a ton of damage so far. Okay, that's it. Don't let them get together. Oh, okay, you just stay there. Don't worry about you. One thing I do like about the Marauder Ice Wolf chariots, though, they're arguably one of the fastest chariot units in the game, and speed really does help a lot. Not the greatest melee combatants, but, you know, a lot of them have gotten quite a few kills so far. Although, again, just to drive a point home, we're not exactly going up against the most elite army ever. Okay, that's going to be a problem now. That's what we want to avoid fighting with the chariots, so they're not going to thrive against the Kemrian War Sphinx. But the mammoths will. So we need to get the mammoths over there. Just kind of hope that we actually hit something. So yeah, this is sort of like it's kind of the B team, but it's actually the A team. They need to take out the monster stuff, but they're not really coming for us here. Oops. Oh, actually, no. If you could just stay there a little bit, I'll just burn them. Shot out here.
No time wasted. Yeah. Prepared to ruin.
Alright, bunch of Ushabti there and a Necrosphinx. They should be okay there. To come and help. And these guys here are free to pick at their rear. Also got this, but I just don't know what to do with it, really. Maybe go pin down these Ushabti.
I'll be there. I've seen victory.
Good, Necrosphinx is down. Which the chariots would not have done well against at all.
Your will. Chaos Marauders. Shaman sorcerer. A killing comes. Shaman sorcerer.
That's it. Just try and take out bit by bit. I think we're seeing near the end of their reinforcements. I'm not too concerned at all about the artillery there. I don't think it's going to do much to us.
I hear you. Moving. Chaos Marauders.
Oh, there's the Chemian War Sphinx. Well, let's see how it goes against them. I've got this stuck up over here.
What to do? No delay.
Oh, this will sort it out.
This one's good. You say.
And there's the army losses. Cool. Yeah, it really hardly the easiest, hardly the most difficult army to go up against. Not really an appropriate test for like a really good Doomstack, I think. But we didn't lose any chariots, and yeah, they got some decent kills. So how would I rate something like this? Well, I want to wait until I want to have a look at the traits of Surtha Ek here and see how valuable this actually is to get. And just to compare the stats of these Marauder Icewolf chariots with the other type of chariot unit. Oh, so that's where the noise came from. It was Black Pyramid and the Gash. Duh. Okay. So Surtha Ek has the Infernal Dominant trait. Well, that's good. And if we have a look down here, True Chariot Master gives weapon strength plus 100% for Chaos Chariot units. Right. So yeah, just the extra weapon strength, which, you know, that makes them hit harder. Let me just see here.
I submit.
Let me see if the other chariot types are available. He doesn't have the barracks available for it. Okay, then we just need to go up to Norska and have a quick look. I don't blame him for not building that building. It's usually a pain in the ass. Yeah, here it is here. The Marauder Chariots. So their weapon strength is 40. 53. Anti-infantry bonus 18, whereas these have 18 as well. 32 melee attack, 28 melee defense versus 22 and 28. Yeah, maybe the Marauder Ice Wolf Chariots are the right choice to use rather than the regular Marauder Chariots. Now, another thing to have a look at is the upkeep difference between the Chariots and the Mammoth. 164 versus 515. You've got 11 armies, 150% extra. Yeah, so they are like significantly more expensive. As in the War Mammoth is significantly more expensive than the Chariot, so I guess it is a cheaper option. But I definitely wouldn't rely on this to go up against a lot of different races. Maybe you do okay against dwarfs, as long as it doesn't have too much artillery. But I just can't see that these guys here are worth recruiting over mammoths unless you're really like needing to penny pinch, basically. Even with Surtha X trade. I mean, it's cool to get that extra weapon strength. They do certainly take out lower tier infantry quite quickly. I'm not looking to give this a very high score because I just don't think it's practical to do this. I don't think it's effective. Well, we won the battle there and got a heroic victory, but honestly, those armies are shit. There's just full of skeleton crap in there, and the wizard did most of the work anyway. So any army that's got a wizard, and it's got 69 wins of 69 upkeep cost. We could have won that battle, I think, without any of the Ice Wolf Chariots in there. Just with all the other units, we still could have won it just because of the wizard. So are these essential in the army? I think it's more of a meme stack than anything. So I'm gonna give this something really low because I just don't think it's not practical. I didn't think it was a lot of fun. I don't think it's strong. It's not really hitting any marks. So I'm going to give this like a 4 out of 10 because it's really not a Doomstack. I don't see this being very good in many situations. Norska has way better options available to them. The only thing that this has going over like Mammoth is basically, oh, it's cheaper. That's basically it. But you know, there are so many situations where I can see this getting totally destroyed. Goes up against Dark Elves, gets destroyed. Goes up against High Elves, destroyed. Probably would be good against the Empire and Dwarves, so good in the early stages of the campaign. Problem is, though, you got to come all the way past the Empire and the Dwarves to get to here, or to Khemri, to go and meet with Cetra to go and fight him. And then you got to go all the way back, so it's just not practical to get the damn trait. It's such an inconvenient trait to get. So yeah, I'm going to give this 4 out of 10, just because I just really don't like it. Impractical, not super strong. I just think you got better choices with it. But I appreciate the guy experimenting with it, and it's certainly interesting, I guess, for a meme stack, but just not really something that I would be like, this is what I have to do in my Norska campaign at all. Anyway, that's the end of this one, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think of it. I don't have a high opinion of it, but that's just how it is. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. See ya.